What's up, guys? It's Numpire here, and I've got a question. What is the most overpowered ship in World of Warships? Some say it might be this aircraft carrier here, the Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Others may say it's the Manfred von Richthofen. Some say the Kremlin, the Smolensk, Petropavlovsk. Some say it might even be the Tier 8 aircraft carrier, the Enterprise. There are several ships that can be entered into the conversation of the most overpowered ship in the game. But I don't think it's any of these ships that I've listed so far. I don't even think the most powerful, most overpowered ship in the game is at Tier 10, or Tier 9, or Tier 8. I say the most the most overpowered ship in the game is down here at Tier 5. This ship right here, the Kamikaze. Now, many of you might be thinking, how in the heck is a Tier 5 Imperial Japanese destroyer the most overpowered ship in the game? Two things. One, that concealment. That is the same concealment as the Tier 8 Japanese destroyer, the Kagero, and the Asashio, and the Harakaze. It's better than that of the Shimakaze. 5.4 kilometers. Okay, so it's stealthy. 7-kilometer torpedoes that do 75 knots. Oh, but wait, there's more. These torpedoes load in 42 seconds and do 14,400 damage. Yeah, this is a Tier 5 destroyer. Some of you have no idea that this thing even exists. Some of you have one of these. You're one of the lucky few. The story of the Kamikaze goes all the way back to beta testing. Because this ship used to be this ship. The Kamikaze is the beta version of the Minikaze. And back in beta, I'm sure the guys who were with me back in beta can tell you, the Kamikaze was king at Tier 5. You would have these things running around, low detection, just torpedoing everything. And nothing could stop them. Unless they strayed too close and you could gun them down. Because the guns are where this thing struggles. Looking at a 10-second reload on these guns. Back then of the day. Yeah. My opinion, this is the most overpowered destroyer and ship in the entire game. And to make my point, I pulled up an old, very old replay to show you guys before you have these current stats. Let's go to it. Alright guys, here we are. This is me in the Kamikaze from patch 0.7.0. That is from January of 2018. This replay is over 3 years old. But this perfectly showcases the power of the Kamikaze well back in the day. This is not something to take lightly on what I do with this thing. So, things to know about this patch way back then. This is when the Musashi came out for free XP. That's how old this replay is. This is older than the French battleship line. And you can see the team list. That's an unusual looking aircraft carrier. That's because that's a Tier 5 aircraft carrier. Back then, aircraft carriers were all tiers from 4 to 10. And they had multiple squads of airplanes in the air. Yeah, much different world back then. But this is me and my Kamikaze. Alright, I'm capturing capture point Delta right now. Doing some capping, and that was a fighter over there. That circular symbol, that's a fighter. They didn't have attack planes back then. Only dive bombs and torpedo bombers. Oh, there's an enemy Russian destroyer, the Ochotnik. I am spotted. Keeping the guns quiet because this is younger Numpire. He didn't realize that, Japanese destroyers had actually hard-hitting guns. He figured they were all just for torpedoes and torpedoes alone. Torpedoes away, though. Remember, 42.3-second reload on this ship for the torpedoes. And each torpedo does over 14,000 damage. One torpedo hit. Caused a flood. And back then, floods were killer. Now, I could shoot at that Ochotnik and, retrospect 3 years later, I should have. But I didn't. On torpedoes again already. Hey, look, I actually used the guns. Kill number 1. Let's head back into Delta and keep getting that cap done. Torpedoes are already reloaded, so if anything comes by, I'm ready for them. Yeah, with the Kamikaze, it actually holds more damage in one battle, its sister ship the Fujin does, than I've ever gotten with a Shimakaze. And this is a tier 5 destroyer. This little thing I've done more damage with than the tier 10 torpedo, barrage, wall of skill Shimakaze. Closing in on the enemy Koenig, tier 5 German battleship. Alright, he's sailing towards me. Torpedoes lined up. Getting a little bit closer just in case. 2 racks away. 3rd rack away. Yep, 3 racks of torpedoes, 2 apiece. And I already have down to 30 seconds left on the torpedoes. Yeah, this thing is insane. One of the fastest torpedo reloads on a good destroyer I've ever seen. It's faster than the Holland. Faster. The only way to really get a faster reload is to go down to tier 2, I believe, with the Tachibana. Yep. And that's a death strike. Goodbye, Koenig. I knew I had him, even when I launched the torpedoes. That's why I never turned back around. Launching for the Ichizuchi. He is sailing away, so I should be launching these much closer. But you can see the aircraft coming in. Aircraft carriers used to be able to launch more than one squad of planes at a time. And people want to complain about carriers nowadays. You could literally park a fighter over a destroyer the whole match. In fact, you'll see that happen to me later. Is the carrier will just park his fighters above my destroyer, just keeping me permanently spotted. Granted, you don't have rocket planes back then, but still. Carriers were much more powerful back then. But yeah, you can see, not enough distance. Torpedoes ran out of steam. Oh, and also back then, the entire plane squad would attack at one time. And you could have more than one squad per air type, depending on the aircraft carrier equipment build you used. Oh, shooting at the Jizuchi. Yeah, the Kamikaze's real weaknesses are its guns, and the fact that it doesn't really have any AA. You'll see that later, which holds true to this day, is it just does not have any AA. Alright, time to go after the October Revolution. That's what that ship is. I know it's Russian. That's just how I got the replay. It's all these words are in Russian, so bear with me, I'm sorry. But yeah.
All stations, defend that area.
Moving in. Torpedoes away. And back in these days, there wasn't a whole lot to counter destroyers if they weren't spotted. You didn't have radar or hydra. You still don't at this low tier. I am spotted, but I want to get into the cap to stop the cap progress. And I'm going to trigger my smoke screen. Kill number 3. Goodbye, October Revolution. Again, you could tell my my low player skill level at the time, trying to use my torpedoes as much as possible and not use my guns. Oh, we just got smacked by somebody. I think back then, destroyers could take full AP penetrations from battleships. I might be wrong about that, but I think that was a thing back then. Alright, well, C-Cap is being defended. I forced the destroyer out. Oh, this poor Wyoming. Watch what happens with this. Alright, I'm closing in. I know there's a destroyer in that smoke screen, but I'm going to launch torpedoes at the battleship. Because the destroyer's at low enough health that even this thing can kill it with its guns. Speaking of the destroyer, there he is. Swing the guns around. Kill number 4. Can't see it very well, but there's a smoke screen there. I'm sailing right into it. I'm in the smoke screen. I'm undetected. Look, the Wyoming's probably like, oh hey, I've dodged the destroyer's torpedoes. He's going to have a long time before his torpedoes are ready. I'm probably okay to keep on this course and speed. Kamikaze laughs and torpedoes. 6 torpedoes away. Round of 40-second reload. Goodbye, Wyoming. Kraken unleashed. And my second devastating strike this match. Yeah. I used to print Krakens with these ships. Not every match, but it was not uncommon. And you can see me be cocky in chat there, asking who's next for the torpedoes. That is a Kirov. torpedoes away, but he is sailing away, so those are not going to reach him. There's enemy Nicholas. Fighting our, well, just killing our V-170. And the enemy carrier just sank our New York. But so far, 96,949 damage, 5 kills, 2 dev strikes. This is a really, really good match for a tier 5 destroyer. This would be a great match for a tier 10 destroyer, in my opinion. And I'm doing this in a tier 5 destroyer. And there's the fighters. Those are fighters that can be controlled by the carrier. And look, he's just parking them on top of me. And those fighters are just going to keep me spotted. Constantly. Kill number 6. Bit of an execution, but that's one less destroyer to worry about. All they have left is the carrier, which is a Bogue, which used to be a tier 5 American aircraft carrier, a Phoenix, and a Kirov. Kirov is sailing away. There's no way I'm going to get torps on him. And I'm being shot at by the Phoenix because the carrier is constantly spotting me with his fighters. I should have my AA guns blazing, but again, these are back in my noob days. I wasn't even part of a clan back then. Here come the bombers. I'm gonna go ahead and smoke up. Avoid the aircraft carrier strike. Yeah, my aim is not good. That first shells had actually been good. Hit. Same thing with that second salvo. With my modern day skill at shooting, I might have killed him. So I could potentially have done more kills this match than what I did. But can't change the past. As much as I would like to go back in time with my old skill level, my current skill level, all the way back then, and exploit some of the stuff I know, be easy. Yep, and there's the dive bombers. They were just hovering above the smoke screen. They could just sit there. Because you weren't always winning. And there's a hit from the carrier. Hey look, a destroyer got hit by dive bombers from an American aircraft carrier and didn't instantly get deleted. Wow, things were a lot different back then. But this is a tier 5 carrier. Tier 6, 7, or 7 carrier, and I probably would have been deleted. And I finally turned on my AA guns, which I should have done a while ago. And there's the Kirov. Quickly get the torpedoes off before he knocks out the torpedo tubes. And turn away to make myself a smaller target. Taking some damage from my trouble. At that range, at that speed, there's no way he can get away from those. High caliber, and my 3rd devastating strike, and my 7th kill. Yeah. My most kills in a single game are 7. I've done it 3 times. Once in the Tier 4 Hosho aircraft carrier, which was fun. I don't have that replay, so I can't share that. Once in the Kamikaze and once in the Fujin. I've gotten 7 kills 3 times, and 2 of them are in this mean little destroyer. And here I go. I'm trying to find out where this carrier is, because if I sit still, up there he is. But sadly, I'm not going to be able to go get that carrier. There's just too much time left. And you might be wondering, why am I not using priority sector? Well, that didn't exist back then. But yeah, 114,000 damage in a Tier 5 aircraft, Tier 5 destroyer. 7 kills. That is absolutely insane. And it's my most kills ever. I still haven't beaten it. And this is a replay from 3 years ago. I've only managed to tie it. But yep, that is the match. That is the end of the match. And now, so, for that match, I ended up with 7 kills, 5 floods, 1 defense ribbon, 1 capture, depth strikes, high caliber, and Kraken Unleashed. 114,000, almost 115,000 damage. And that's not the most I've gotten in one of these little destroyers. Take a look at this. This is a post-battle results screen on the World of Warships Replays website for my Fujin. Look at that. Just short of 190,000 damage in the Fujin, which is a sister ship to the Kamikaze. I got 4 kills, 19 torpedo hits on this little demon of a destroyer. Yeah. In my honest opinion, the Kamikaze R, and the Fujin are the most overpowered ships in this game, and they've only gotten stronger with the new commander rework and the new equipment, which has made their torpedoes even faster at Tier 5. These ships are utterly broken. They do have their weaknesses, so you can kill one if you've come across at the right time, in the right ship. But if you ever get the chance to get one of these, I highly, highly recommend you get it. For anybody who likes being a torpedo destroyer, there is nothing better than the Kamikaze, the Fujin, and the Kamikaze R. And remember, this used to be the Minakaze, the Tier 5 researchable tech tree line destroyer. And back in beta, everybody had to deal with what I just did, and everybody could do it. Yeah. Well, that's all for me this time, guys. I have a question for you. What do you think the most overpowered ship in the game is? Let me know down in the comments. I'll catch you guys next time. I'll see you later, guys.